Tim McClone. Remember, isolation does not mean hibernation. Live your life, people. Absolutely. Today you're going to buy a house. You're going to buy a house today. Oh, no, 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 no. You got these jokers over here saying, don't buy a house. Buy that 4-unit building. Have those 4 tenants. Pay your rent. And you can go live in New York and buy property there and rent, and live in Michigan and rent, and go to Bermuda and go to Madrid, buy property there, and just keep renting. That's the way to do it. That's how you're going to get rich. And you got these guys over here. You want to live that American dream. Get that 30-year loan, 2 to 4% return. Get a couple windmills in your driveway, a couple hybrid cars, ferrets, rabbits, nice little fence. That's the American dream. Bottom line is, both can work. It's not one or the other. The gurus today, the gurus are telling you to buy investment property, never own. That's a very short-sighted view in my opinion. You can make both work. And I got a scenario today where I made both work. And I'm going to share it with you. And at the end of that, if you're like, McClone doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, well, that's fine. Let me give you the situation, the action steps, and the results. And it will be short and sweet. We're not going to drag this out. So, situation, living in Austin, Texas. By the way, Austin's a great place. I went back a year later and bought an investment property outside of Austin. Came back to LA, took a buyout from a company, and I wrote on my legal pad, my goal is to buy a primary residence, already have investment property in LA. And what am I looking for to make this work? The bottom line is this, it's not black and white, it's gray. What might work in Florida, it might be better to buy in LA. Just can't say buy investment property everywhere. Well, why not make both work in one deal? So my goal, based on my price point of the house I'm looking to buy, was to get a deal, get a steal. Get it under market value. Number two, get equity in that property in a year. My goal for equity in that property was $81,000, $128,000 in 12 months. Number 3, can I rent that property out? Will it cover my mortgage, my taxes, my insurance? Find a property where I can do that. Now I'm putting 20% down. And of course, number 4 and some other pearls, get a good interest rate. I have a relationship with a bank. I've done a lot of loans. I have some money with them. They gave me 3.4% for 30 years. So the first 3 points, and it was an interesting market in 2017. You had hard money loans going, 20% down conventional. A lot of weird stuff in the market. It was a mixed bag back then. Stuff was going over asking. Stuff was falling out of escrow in certain areas. It's really weird. And a few properties I bid on went over asking and wasn't going to do that. Then they fell out and they called me back, and I don't play games. I just walked. And I found a piece of property. I got it $66,000 under asking. So that checks the box. In 12 months after buying the property, it went up $97,000. 20% down, my mortgage was a little over $2,300 a month. The property would went for $3,600 a month. That box got checked. I could rent it enough to cover everything and maybe have a little positive cash. Here are the pearls. Interest deduction, property tax deduction, $24,000 written off my income. And here's the big pearl that gets me on the other side, the investment side. Property goes up $97,000. I pull an equity line on that property for $100,000. I take that $100,000, I buy a triplex. Okay? Another investment property I own pays for the triplex as well as the equity line. So I got the best of both sides. I got the American dream, and I got an investment property out of one deal. One deal. So, in my opinion, that worked out pretty well, right? And of course, you got depreciation and stuff with rental properties. There's benefits there. As an agent, I also got a commission on the property, and I used to fix up that property. As brokers, as agents, we have passive losses on properties. So there's some benefits there to being in the real estate business and having your license as well as being an investor. So in that scenario, it worked out. And now the property since then has gone up another $50,000. I'm going to rent that property out and buy another piece of property to live in. Maybe I'll rent, I'm not sure. It just depends on the deal. And my whole point of this video is you just can't say one way is right. And I'm not telling you that. In certain situations, it's better to rent, depending on your specific circumstances. And in certain situations, it might be better to buy and live in and pull a 30-year. Just because you do a 30-year loan doesn't mean you got to live in it 30 years. So, in that scenario, it works. If you have someone that travels worldwide and they're buying investment, and they're moving around, buying in certain cities for a while, then they go to another city, sure, it makes sense to rent. But if it's done correctly, done with intelligence and savviness, you can buy and still invest. That's my only point. You know, it's all about DDM, dividend discount value, to net you the highest NAV, net asset value. And I just wanted to share that with you today. Thanks for your time, but you can do both.